Am I the a-hole for not attending my husband's celebration dinner due to the restaurant not having anything I could eat? My husband has been working really hard the last 2 years to advance at his company, and he finally got the promotion he's been after. I'm really proud of him. His parents are too, and wanted to take us all out to dinner to celebrate. My husband absolutely loves prime rib, and there's only one place in our area that serves it. So he picked that restaurant. Thing is, I'm not fond of steak. I'll eat it, but very rarely. I prefer chicken or fish. I looked up the menu before leaving, and right now they have a limited menu. The place had only one fish entree and 2 chicken entrees, and none of them sounded good for various reasons. I suggested that he pick someplace else so everyone can eat. He refused, citing that we rarely get to go to this place, but go to other places in our area regularly, which is true. But those places have lots of variety so everyone can eat. He suggested that I ask if they could prepare the fish or chicken without the marinades or sauces, but I didn't want to be difficult for the kitchen staff. His next suggestion was that I order dessert while everyone else ate entrees. And then, when we were done, he would take me where I wanted so I could eat dinner while he and the kids ate dessert. So I opted to just not go because I didn't want to sit there not eating and not having a good time, while everyone else was. My husband asked me to go so he could celebrate with the people most important to him. I told him no again, and that he needed to get going before he was late. He did go but came back a little over an hour later with the kids, and they all had to go boxes. He said he couldn't think of what to tell the kids about why I didn't go, when they kept asking without lying or making me sound bad. So he just got an order for them to go and let the kids spend some time with their grandparents, talking in the parking lot. I told him he should have stayed, but he said that I put him in a bad spot with the kids, and that I knew he wanted everyone there, and that I should have just gotten over my picky eating for one night. I maintain if he really wanted us to all eat dinner as a family, then he should have picked a restaurant with a more accommodating menu. Am I the a-hole? Update: some of these comments were pretty harsh, but a kick in the pants. I've apologized profusely to my husband, and I'm going to take him to that restaurant this weekend and buy him some camping gear he's been eyeing as a start to making it up to him and changing course. AITA for forwarding my husband's group text messages to our boss in HR. My 36 female husband, 39 male, and are likely divorcing. We've been married 7 years and a year, and 2 months ago I gave birth to our daughter. My husband and I work at the same company and at the same department. Until very recently I worked as an administrative assistant there, while my husband is a marketing associate. I was recently promoted to marketing analyst, which is 1 step below associate. My husband was part of an all-male friend group in the department that I believe has helped him at work. His friend group includes a VP of marketing, who we'll call Ted. Ted's boss is the senior VP of marketing, Allison. I actually got to know Allison because I used to volunteer at the same school she sent her kids to. I know enough about her to know she hates people who disparage moms. For about a year after I gave birth, I was focused on getting myself back on track health-wise and professionally. However, my husband started getting distant after month 6. Every day, it was no conversation, but you can't do anything sexually, and him bothering me for BJ's. None of my accomplishments seemed to matter to my husband because he just wanted sex. He fell asleep one day before his phone turned off. I saw a host of notifications and then discovered a text thread between him and 3 work buddies complaining about his apparently frigid wife. I saw responses where everybody sympathized with him, saying they hope he gets sex soon. And then one co-worker writes at some point, "She needs to just lay back and let you do what you need to do and get over doing it." Not PC but true. Ted liked that text. Then Ted responds, "She's ruining your family. Maybe tell her that, and she'll come to her senses." My wife did. This leads advice on ways to emotionally guilt me. I was furious and started taking screenshots. I was slightly drunk, and when I told my sister, she said since he participated using our electronics, just send it to Allison via his phone, because she should know what kind of people is handling company PR. So I did so without any message explaining it, and then also sent a formal email to HR. I then leave the house. The next day, all hell breaks loose. My husband's group get notices for meetings with HR. My husband tells me to stay away, and that a good wife would have kept it quiet. Now the dust is settled, and Allison made it clear she was narrowly outvoted when pushing for his termination. The guy who wrote the "just lay back" was fired. Ted was suspended without pay but reinstated. My husband was suspended, reprimanded, and moved to a different team because Ted doesn't want to work with him. He claims what hurts most is that co-workers avoid him. My husband refuses to talk to me. Never did he acknowledge how the text would have made me feel. instead saying I was snooping. It was private. At this point, I know we are headed for divorce, and I feel drained and humiliated over his text. Am I the a-hole? Did I go too far? He didn't get fired. Am I the a-hole for causing family drama over a swimming pool? So I know from experience that Reddit isn't the most understanding towards parents of young kids. But I really just want a third-party opinion because the situation is driving me crazy, and my family are saying I need to get over it. I female 30s live with my partner and our 2 kids, ages 7 and 3. My older sister Ava, also female 30s, and her husband recently purchased a house in the local area. It's a super nice place with a big yard, and as you can probably guess from the title, a swimming pool. Ava recently hosted a barbecue at her place. It wasn't a huge event. She invited me, our parents, and our other siblings. She mentioned letting the kids play in the pool, so I only assumed my kids would get to be included. We are potty training, although my youngest is still in diapers at the moment. At the barbecue, I was getting my youngest ready for the pool by changing him into a swim diaper. Ava pulled me aside and told me she doesn't think it's hygienic for my youngest to play in the pool, since swim diapers don't hold pee, and she asked that he doesn't swim in the pool with the other kids playing in it. I didn't think this was fair and told Ava that lots of people, adults and kids, pee in the pool, and it would be no different at a public pool. So, what's the problem? She was being really condescending and wouldn't listen to me at all and said that he can play in the pool when he's toilet trained, and said it's not fair on the other kids. At this point, my son was crying because he wanted to swim in the pool, and I told Ava she was being cold, but it's her house and her pool, so do what you want. Ava accused me of trying to guilt trip her and told me to just drop it. I was getting upset myself at this point, and I told our parents and other siblings about what Ava did. They told me it's not a big deal and that it's not worth arguing with her over, and try not to let it bother me. I wasn't happy with this because this essentially means they're siding with her and downplaying how she treated me and my son. I left the barbecue early with my family because we didn't feel welcome after that. The next day, Ava messaged me a whole paragraph and said that she's sorry that I'm upset and that she wasn't trying to exclude my son for the sake of it. It was a super non-apology, and I told her I don't want to hear it, and that she's damaged her relationship with her nephew and she's not the one who had to deal with him being upset. Ava snapped at me out of nowhere and said I'm being dramatic. I told her to grow up and said that I have a very valid reason to be mad, and she needs to stop acting like a teenager. Ava showed these messages to everyone, and everything's just a bit up in the air. I feel like I'm right here, but the rest of my family doesn't seem to agree. Am I the a-hole for complaining about the signs at my daughter's preschool? My daughter 3 just started preschool and has a teacher I'm guessing college age. That is very honest, sometimes coming off as a bit rude. I had to stop allowing my daughter to bring her toys to school because they always get lost, and this teacher is no help when it comes to finding them. She brought a little Lego creation that she wanted to show her friends and didn't have it at the end of the day. I asked the teacher where it was. She didn't know. I asked her to look for it, and she said that there's no way she would be able to tell our Legos from theirs, and that my daughter would not be getting any Legos back. Another time, she went to school with a sticker on her shirt. She was crying when I picked her up because the sticker was gone. I asked the teacher to look for it, and she said I will not be tearing apart my classroom and playground to find a sticker that fell off for hours ago. Other kids have gone home with my daughter's jackets, and we've had to wait a week one time to get it back. Lately, there's been two notices taped to the window that I am certain are written by this teacher. The first one says, "Your child is not the only one with a pink puffer jacket or Mona water bottle. Please label your child's belongings to ensure they go home with the right person." And the second one says, "We understand caring for a sick child is difficult, but 12 of them isn't any easier. Please keep your child home if they have these symptoms." In my opinion, there is absolutely no reason for these notes to be this snarky and obviously aimed at very specific parents. I complained to the director about this teacher's conduct and the notices on the window, but nothing has come of it. My husband thinks I'm overreacting. Am I the a-hole for complaining? Am I the a-hole for not letting my son go to homecoming on my weekend? My son is a freshman, and his dad is telling me he wants to go to homecoming. But it is 6 to 10 p.m. on my Saturday. I get him free night to Sunday night. I only see him for days a month right now, and he only sees his brother on the weekends because my ex took my older son away from me to go live with him when he wasn't doing good in school with me. So I told his dad no, and said it isn't fair to me or his brother to allow him to go. And I can't drive him there because it's an hour each way, so it would be for hours of driving for me. His dad said he would give up the Monday, but I'd still only get him from Sunday morning to Monday evening, which is less than my usual time. Well, my son is throwing a fit now, and his dad is telling me I don't put my kids first. But it's literally just a dance. I barely see my son, and I already up a lot of time for his football practice.